Hi, welcome back. We're discussing The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek by Kim Michele Richardson. I'm Tom Comiskey, Outreach Librarian at Plymouth Public Library, and here providing this online virtual book club from my home. Yes, it's we're doing things virtually these days, which is fun. But anyway, we wanted to provide some kind of programming to the readers and the public in Plymouth. So we hope you find this helpful. So, as I said, the book is available on Hoopla as an ebook or as an audiobook. It could also, I think it might also be on Overdrive. I'm not 100% sure. And of course, you can, if you want, you can order it, from wherever you buy books. And hopefully, eventually you will be able to come in and borrow that book. But we will be letting you know when that can happen. So stay tuned to our website and the town website. Okay, so I want to get into in this third video more of the actual discussion questions. And Kim Michele Richardson has a great set of questions on her website. So first thing I wanted to find out, does anyone have firsthand knowledge of these parts of Kentucky or any similar places? I had the experience of living in North Carolina for 3 years. And I first lived in the Charlotte area, and then I moved out to the western part of the state near Asheville, a gorgeous mountainous area. And it's like almost in the beginning parts of, the Appalachian Mountains. It's quite beautiful. So I just got a small glimpse of what mountain life might have been like. Surely it's not the same as it was back in '36, but I have some idea of what possibly could have been going on just by glimpsing what I did glimpse when I would drive out into the hinterlands. I'm sure there are parts that to this day you can't even get to by car. Back in the day, the pack horse libraries developed because there were no roads where these folks lived. There were no railroads, and these little dirt roads, these little tiny, mountain passes is all they had to get from A to B. So quite an adventure. Less than 100 years ago, 1936. And I'm sure there's still pockets of that remaining today. So anyone have experience firsthand or secondhand of that part of the country? And then the second, I want to open it up to a couple of the questions that Kim Michele Richardson put out in the reading group guide. So the first one is the Kentucky Pack Horse program was implemented in 1935 by the Work Project Administration to create women's work programs and to assist economic recovery and build literacy. Looking at the novel, how did the program affect the people in this remote area? Do you think library programs are still a vital part of our society today? So how do you think library programs such as this are vital to people, and especially today in the situation we have now during this pandemic? What can we do for remote people who are living out remotely, or like you and I, we are in isolation, forced isolation? So how do we think outside the box, and what can we do? A good question. The second question, how has a librarian or a book lover impacted your life? Have you ever connected with a book or author in a meaningful way? And can you elaborate on that? So, a librarian or book lover that's impacted your life. And have you ever connected with a book or author in a meaningful way? So, yeah, there are tons of books that I remember from childhood or, even just lately reading. So, please comment about any of these that made a difference in your life. And feel free to make some comments. All right, and the third question. Missionaries, government, social workers, and various religious groups have always visited eastern Kentucky to reform, modernize, and mold the hill folk to their acceptable standards. Do you think Cussy faced this kind of prejudice from the outside world? Is there any prejudice or stigma associated with the people of Appalachia today? Yeah, I pretty much think so. But please share your comments down below. And yes, there's a lot of places like this in our country that are still visited in various ways. So we'll end this short video right now, and I'll take a look in and see how we're doing on our comments.